you're a business owner, a blogger, traveler, a frequent traveler. How do you manage it all?
Yes, I think it took me a while to balance that out, but finally I have done it. And one thing which really helped me to manage it is that.
Welcome to Marina Vibe, and we are on the 6th episode. And today we have my favorite topic, travel. And Sapna, thank you very much for coming. Please introduce yourself.
Sure. Hello, everybody. I'm Sapna, and I have a travel business in UAE and India under the name of Pluto Travels. And also, I'm a full-time traveler and a travel blogger.
I can see the happiness. And
Yes.
that's one of my favorite topics. So while you were explaining everything, last year I did like 5 countries.
Wonderful.
And I had recently joined BNI, right? And then I disappeared. And I did like multiple countries. So people were like,
Amazing.
after Sapna, you're the one who is doing most of the travels.
Yes.
That's what I got to
people said
hear.
that. That means I have made a right image in the BNI, a traveler.
Absolutely. And let's give 2 minutes of credit to BNI. I think if it was not for BNI, you and me, we wouldn't be sitting here together.
Absolutely. So BNI gives us a lot of opportunity.
Yeah.
I've so far done mainly 4 to 5 podcasts, and majorly all of them came through BNI. So that's
Fantastic.
BNI.
So you are a celebrity already.
I will not say that.
Okay.
Long way to go, Marina.
Yes, we all are.
Yeah.
Growth towards success, right?
Yes.
That's what. Okay, let's start the interview. With the rise of influencers and self-booking platforms, do you think travel agencies are not growing?
Okay. So let me answer this question with the influencer part.
Yeah.
I'm glad that the influencers are rising. Because of them, travel agencies are getting more awareness. It's the other way round because they are apparently one extra marketing tool for us. That's one of the reasons why I also started making content, and I also started being a travel blogger, travel influencer, you can say anything. And that has big time given a benefit to my business because the people who are following me, they see the destinations I'm traveling, the information I provide, and then see whenever they think of travel, they think of Sapna. So influencer side, it has actually helped us to grow further. If you see influencers, they are not approached by tourism board majorly, but they're approached by travel agencies more.
Yeah.
So it has helped to travel agencies to grow. And when it comes to online is another way for travel agencies to grow better. You know, what is booking.com? It is a travel platform. That means it is also they are also an online travel agent. What is ClearTrip? What is Make My Trip? They all are travel agent, right? So apparently we have grown better. Have you sometimes gone to airarabia.com and booked your ticket? No, you'll go to cleartrip.com. So you all are apparently using travel agents.
Yes, absolutely. Very well said. Next one. Is Airbnb better than a hotel since travelers prefer their own space?
See, both of them have their own benefits.
Okay.
But I know many luxury travelers, many travelers who travel quite often, especially for business, they never prefer Airbnb. First of all, you don't get that regular facility of being a phone call away, the cleaner being a phone call away, or those room service being a phone call away. So they want that comfort and facility. So they don't prefer Airbnb. See, with Airbnb, you are paying more or less a similar amount as a hotel room, but you just have one apartment to yourself. But when it comes to hotel, from lobby to the different restaurant options to pool, you've got a lot of options.
Yeah.
So all I will say is that Airbnb apparently might be good for budget travelers or people who are looking for saving more money. But majorly, people still prefer hotels, especially the leisure travelers as well as people who are traveling for business. And I've never heard somebody staying on an Airbnb in Maldives. So the luxury is hotels and resorts.
Okay. And I think more like if it is a family, maybe a Airbnb might suit them better.
In fact, so many Arab families we book as well
Yeah.
and they don't prefer Airbnb because they travel with kids. Of course, they travel with maids and they prefer having a huge suite, connecting rooms, or a chalet with many number of rooms, but they need their own private butler, their own room service. So they rather prefer staying in a hotel rather than staying in an Airbnb. I mean, you don't have an Airbnb, with 4-star and 5-star. Basically, there's no such rating given to Airbnb officially so far. So
Yeah.
5-star is a 5-star.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, actually, putting this out in other way around, whereas the world is only talking about Airbnb, and you see the competition in Dubai itself increasing drastically with Airbnb hosts.
Even if you see, even if there is Airbnb,
Yeah.
there are hotels also growing, and they're growing more in numbers, right?
Yeah.
So why? Because a lot of people still prefer hotels.
Yes, absolutely. Next one. Everyone visits Georgia.
Yes.
It was one of my first country to
Yes.
visit after Dubai. And why do people do that? Is there an alternative to that? Because I think people travel there is of comfort. Language has also gone better over there. Cost effective. So I want you to put some more light towards it. And are there any other destination that they can go rather than Georgia?
I'll start talking about Georgia. So 2015-16 was the time when Georgia started getting popular in Dubai. And the company which actually made Georgia popular was Holiday Factory, because they were selling Georgia, an international trip of 3 nights, 4 days, at a price of 500 to 900 dirhams, which was like much cheaper than even going for a staycation in any of the other emirate. So people thought, let us give it a try. When they went to Georgia, because I went in 2016, so I know that.
Yeah.
And I took a group of, straight away I took a group of 20 with me that time. I went first time with a group. So when people started traveling to Georgia during those times, what they enjoyed the most was weather and Europe. People love Europe. But then Europe, especially the Schengen countries, requires a Schengen visa. The flights are expensive. Even you are spending in euros. But then they realized that Georgia apparently is a destination where you are spending half the money you are spending in Dubai, because that time the Georgian currency was apparently one dirham you used to get 2 Georgian. I think lira, if I'm not wrong, the Georgian currency is.
Lari.
Lari,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
lira, lari. So that's how it is. So that time people traveled because of the weather, because of the infrastructure. It was just like Europe. And then when they went to the top of the mountains and all, they loved the place because snow, they could ski at such a cheap price. That's why Georgia really got famous, and the prices were so good. 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, you can do the complete trip, luxury trip. Now, after Georgia, and another reason why Georgia got famous was because you get visa on arrival to Georgia. All the UAE residents get visa on arrival to Georgia. But then after Georgia, all other countries which were near Georgia, like Armenia, Azerbaijan, even Serbia that time, started giving visa on arrival for all the people who are holding UAE residence. And then after the pandemic, the other countries who had restrictions with the visa, I'm talking about Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, even Uzbekistan, they also started giving visa on arrival for all the UAE residents. So now it's not only Georgia, but we have so many other options giving the same kind of feel or same kind of infrastructure or, holiday experience as Georgia. Like one of them, which we did, a group of around 25 to 30 people, I think more than 30, was a BNI group to Kyrgyzstan. It was like 72 hours in Kyrgyzstan. And if you talk to any of the BNI member from the chapter who went, they said that was one of the best trips they ever took. So you enjoy cold weather, you enjoy mountains, and Kyrgyzstan is one place where you can see the maximum stars in the sky. If people go there for stargazing, and then the city also is like it, because it was a part of USSR, so it has that European feel. It has good culture and heritage. So I think if not Georgia, I would suggest you to try Kyrgyzstan.
Fantastic. And I think not many people still go to
Exactly.
Kyrgyzstan.
And you get a visa on arrival. It's around 3.5, 4 hours. Destination similar to Georgia. Timings are same. I think it's just 1 hour ahead of Dubai. So that's one place you should surely give it a try.
And I think Georgia became popular also because of the time. It's the
Yeah,
same time here and
same
there.
time.
Yeah? Yeah. Okay, let's go to a next one. And now it is about your business. You have been in the business for good 18 years. Now, that itself is success, according to me. So, what was your journey like? How could you do it year after year and sustain? Because sustaining a business is also a big
Yeah.
problem for majority of us.
So I'll start by talking about myself. I'm a small town girl. I come from a very small town in India called Mandsaur. I think none of you would have heard about that place. And I had one dream. Every time, whenever my father will look for a right alliance for me, when I was 19, I used to start getting rishtas, what you call in Hindi. And my father was like, no, she's too young. Maybe after 21, we will search a right groom for her. But by 20, my father was like, okay, now we should look into a right person for her. And I had one dream. I always was attracted towards that movie, which was called Corporate from by Madhur Bhandarkar. It was a Bipasha Basu movie, and she used to travel around the world. She used to close the deal. I was really excited about that movie, and I will dress up like her because it was the time when my father was looking for a right groom for me. That time only the movie was released. So my father was like, no, she will never get this corporate world and all. We belong to a very traditional, simple family. We'll have she'll be a housewife in future. So explain her. My father will always tell all these things to my mother. But my mother will always say that you put everything you want to the God, pray to him, and you will get whatever you want. But any which ways, this alliance came to my father, and my father said yes for this, and I came to Dubai. So when I came to Dubai, my husband just started the travel company, Pluto Travels, and it was like 8 months after after his company was started, I joined him after marriage. And that time we got a news about the Lehman Brothers, and then company was also probably facing a bit of a challenge because travel was drastically reduced. There was a crisis around the world. There was a recession, but because I was apparently I had a zest to work. I was always excited. I was, marketing was my thing because before my, during my college days also I did internship in one of the institute where I did marketing, and I did my, masters in marketing as well. So then I said, I'll take care of the marketing, you take care of the operations. So this is how my company started getting better. So when 2009, when the entire world was facing crisis, we started growing. So we started getting good corporates, we started doing holiday packages. And one of my first ever client was Bank of Azerbaijan. So that was a royal family from Baku. Okay. And then we did their luxury holiday package. We did their corporate travel. They used to have so many guests in Dubai. We managed their travel bookings. So slowly, we started getting better and better, and we started growing. So 2009 and 10, when there were a lot of issues in the world, we did better. And that was like our growth path. And since then, we never stopped. We started another branch in 2014, another branch in 2020, one more in India. Our team started growing. But we always had two different sections. I'll manage the marketing, PR, digital marketing, and he will manage operations and finance. And that's how the growth continued. So all I'll say is that it's all about distributing the right job to the right person, and then it's all together we achieve the success.
Okay. I would like you to speak about one or two challenges that you might have faced during the 18 years. It could be your real estate growing, it could be last minute cancellation from clients.
I'll talk about two major basically I'll say the fall which we had in last 18 years. One was in 2020 during the pandemic. So when the pandemic hit, every single person, whoever we booked tickets, visas, holiday packages, hotels for, they kept calling and they kept, canceling everything. When we were growing in 2020, from Feb to March, from Jan to Feb to March, we did so well. And in March, whatever we booked, everything was started getting cancelled. That was, we were not able to believe what's happening. We're not able to even, tally with what's happening in the world. How long will the airports be closed? How long will the countries be closed? So in 2020, March and April, our business was almost zero. And then from May, we started doing private charters and charter flights for people to travel back to their home country. And can you believe it? The entire 2020, when Dubai also opened up, we did visas, visa extension, charters, private charters, charter flights. This helped us to do so well that we closed 2020 in good amount of profit. So that's one thing, that in every fall you can see an opportunity to rise.
Absolutely.
And then 2023 was 1 year where I had a big fall again, because there were few core team members who just all of a sudden came and resigned. And within like 1 or 2 months of time, they all left. And when, core team members from each department leaves, it really affects. But we've stood strong. Me and my husband being the partners, we stood strong. We quickly hired people. We could sustain very well. And then 2023 also was not a barrier. So, it's all about how you face challenges and how you're always ready and always, get going.
Okay. In a popular destination, what is the right balance between catering to tourists and respecting the local culture?
Okay. If you go back and see how Dubai changed in all these years, it's like a perfect tourist destination. So, of course, I believe that culture is very important. That's one of the reasons we go to European countries, because what they show us, they show the culture. They still have those, cobbled streets, and then they still have small cafes. They are not building a great infrastructure in old town because they want to retain that beauty of the town for which the tourist comes in, right? So I agree that culture is very important. To retain that culture, to retain that authenticity of a country is very important, of a city. But I also feel that tourists are tourists, they really need a very clear clarity on communication, first of all, and second on transportation. Because if you want to cater travelers from different part of the world and different levels, like from middle class to upper middle class to luxury to lower middle class, then you really need to have a very strong transportation system.
Correct.
Like how Dubai is growing their metro stations further, how they are planning to have more stronger public transportation, how when we travel to Europe, we never face a challenge because everywhere there are subways and metros and trams. So it's very important to have a very strong, transportation system, along with maintaining that, beauty of the local culture and tradition. Like if you see, one of the best things people enjoy doing in Dubai is Abra ride. It's so famous that now they've started that kind of an Abra traditional dhow from Dubai Mall as well.
Oh,
So that is very important to have that, that mix of the beauty. So you can apparently have your own transportation with a hint and pinch of showing the culture.
absolutely.
So I think it should be a perfect balance between the both.
So, with this point, I just want to mention, so I had gone to Uzbekistan, and Kiva was one of the cities that we visited, and we stayed in a madrasa. And that was more towards the culture of that country.
Yes.
And I think that was one of the amazing experiences that I have had till today.
I'm so glad to know that.
Yeah.
I went to Uzbekistan, I went to Samarkand, I went to Tashkent, and then I went to Amir Soy, which is a beautiful luxury high-end ski resort on the top of Tashkent.
Okay.
It's like 1.5, 2 hours drive.
Yeah.
But what you said is an experience to stay in a madrasa,
Yeah.
So I think that's something which people would love to do. Have you ever got a chance to stay in a madrasa? No, right? It's something interesting, right? So this is important to apparently have a mix of tradition as well as, probably the right accommodation and transportation.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the Gen Z. Do you have any Gen Z employee in your
Yes.
company?
Today only, while I was driving somebody back to, while coming here, I had somebody in my car whom I dropped at the metro station, and then I took that turn.
Yeah.
So while I was driving somebody, we were discussing about Gen Z. Now she works for the biggest, I'm not naming the name of the firm, but she works for the biggest audit firm in the world. Audit or accounting firm, consultancy firm. And she was talking about this issue which she's facing big time with Gen Z. Sorry, but this is what was been told. She told me that they're not coming and not doing a project is a very, common thing they are facing right now. But let's talk on a positive side. So I had a Gen Z with us for almost good few months. She was on an internship, and I keeping interns because they give us fabulous ideas. And the kind of ideas she gave for my social media, for company social media, and how she managed the page was amazing. So I think they are more creative. They like to work in an atmosphere where they are not, pressurized. They enjoy being, more easy at work. For them, work is also fun. They want to take it as a fun level rather than having any kind of pressure. And I feel that some of them are super potential. So I mean, I get so, I have few people who are at the age of 20 and 25 years old, between that in my office. I hired them as a fresher. And you know what I did in 5 years, they did in just 2 years. So I think they are much more potential.
Absolutely.
And if I talk to you about travel, I think that this is one of the best professions Gen Zs can be, and that is travel. Because I know every Gen Z loves traveling and getting experiences. And this is what is the future. When you travel, you create experience for yourself.
Absolutely. Well said. And I think, like you mentioned in the beginning, because we have travel bloggers, that's why we came to know so many countries and what is happening in those countries. And Gen Zs are one of the peoples who have
social
taken that step forward.
Absolutely.
Right?
I agree with you.
Perfect. What is the most unusual or unexpected travel experience you have had?
Oh my God, there's so many of them. But when I was approached by BNI to talk about how you use BNI platform outside your country and how do you manage and how do you connect with international members, so I've got this one experience which I always think of when somebody asks me what was your best travel experience or unusual travel experience. So see, you all know about island rains, right? It rains like a crazy on islands, right? I mean, within few seconds or in a minute, when there is no rain, all of a sudden the cloud gathers and it starts raining so much that you cannot see a person sitting next to you. You cannot see any car. So one fine day, I was in Palawan, Philippines. The island Palawan is very famous tourist island in Philippines. Palawan, and I was in Puerto Princesa. That's the name. Puerto Princesa also, they say. So I was actually with a BNI member because I hired him to do my photos and videos. I went to the beach to show them, because Puerto Princesa is very famous for beaches. They've got beautiful beaches. They're famous for crocodile rivers. They're famous for grottos, which is the caves. So they've got a lot of cave formations of stalactites, stalagmites, those beautiful formations in the cave, which happens because of the limestones. So we were shooting there, and it was around 5:30 or 6 in the evening, and sun was setting. It was beautiful. I could see sunset right at the beach, and he's driving me back because I had another dinner to attend. I was invited by the tourism board of that country, and all of a sudden, within like few seconds, the clouds started gathering, and it became dark. And within 2-3 minutes, it started raining. And it rained so heavily that we could not see anything in front. I was sitting in the front seat with him. He was driving a car. And I'm like, how can you see? How are you driving at a speed of 45 or 50? It is literally invisible. And he's enjoying his cigarette. He's relaxing. He's enjoying the rain. He's saying, don't worry. We are used to this rains. So imagine, had it been somebody else, when there is nobody at the island, that's quite a quiet island.
Yeah.
And it's raining heavily. I'm with a stranger sitting next to me. How will I feel? But I feel comfortable and protected because I knew that he's coming from the same platform I am from. So he is reliable. There is a due diligence which has happened before he was inducted to the chapter.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought that it's safe for me to travel with him.
Yeah.
So that's one experience which I got, and how safe I felt because I knew the person from the same platform.
Okay.
There are many such experiences. One of them is when I was invited by Italian tourism board to Italy, and that was my first solo trip ever. That was back in 2013. So I was invited by the tourism board to attend one workshop in JW Marriott here in Dubai, and I went there. And I met one of the authorities and they said, how do you find Italy? And they were trying to promote Italy more in Dubai that time, because that time Sweden was not so much into, traveling to Schengen countries. And I said that I enjoyed Switzerland more than Italy. I just said like that to him.
Okay.
And then he's like, okay, but I think you have not experienced Italy the way you should. He said that. I'm like, okay, then what should we do? He said, let me give you a call tomorrow. And he gave me a call tomorrow. And he said that I'm giving you free ticket. I'm giving you hotels and I'm booking your stay. You go and experience Italy and a part of Italy which you've never been, and tell me how do you like it. So that's how my first solo travel started. And one of the most unusual experiences I had in that trip was, I went for a travel exhibition and then followed by a fam trip. So the fam trip was in Campania region. You know, Campania region is Capri, Amalfi, Positano, Sorrento. So I was staying in a very small town which is called Sorrento. So Sorrento was a fairy tale land. As soon as we reached in Sorrento, on my left and right, I could see lemons hanging by the road, oranges hanging. It was all orange and yellow. What a beautiful combination of the city. And then I was staying in a hotel, Hilton. I still remember the name of the hotel was Hilton. And that was right in front of a volcano. Okay. And of course, that volcano is dormant. It's not an active volcano anymore. And I was staying there. In the morning, from 4 a.m. itself, the bird starts chirping. And the entire place looks like a fairy tale land. And that was an experience, an unusual experience, because we stay in a luxury hotels where there are no much balconies.
Yeah.
It's all, covered. Beautiful view, of course. But it had a huge balcony. I opened the room. I went outside. I enjoyed a beautiful view. I could see the volcano right opposite to my room. And then below it was like, it's called the Garden of Eden. A lot of birds were chirping. That was an experience I can never forget.
Like, while you're saying itself, I can imagine it has been. If you have few photos, please share it with us.
Yes, it was 2013. Yeah, I
Okay.
will.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next segment. What is one advice you would give to someone who hesitate on traveling solo?
Oh my God, I've already told my story, right?
Yeah.
Just a while back about Italy, that when I went to Italy, it was all by myself and I enjoyed the trip. Imagine Capri is an island, which is a romantic island. Maybe if you are a Bollywood lover, you would have heard this song called Khuda Jaane from Bachna Hai Hasino, Ranbir Kapoor and Deepika Padukone, very famous song. The entire song was shot there. And after that song, so many honeymoon travelers went to Capri. But I went all by myself and I enjoyed the place like anything. It was such a stunning place. So all I'll tell you is that traveling solo gives you a lot of time to think and get more insights. When you're traveling solo, sitting in a train, you will talk to somebody, you will learn about the families and culture. When you're with somebody, apparently, you are probably, you always have that influence. When you travel with family, when you travel with husband, when you travel with a boyfriend or your friend, you always have that influence. And when you travel solo, you are all by yourself. You talk to people, you seek to connect with people, you learn more, you notice every small thing, and that is the beauty of traveling solo. In fact, my last solo travel was to Russia. And whenever I travel, I always hire photographers. So I hired freshers as photographers this time, through Instagram. What all things I got to learn from them. I went out for dinner with those people, I mean photographers. I went for coffee. I learned so much about them. Had it been with, a family or something, I couldn't be able to spend more time. It's like spending more time with locals. That's Absolutely. All about traveling solo. So traveling solo is beautiful. You should all experience it. And one good thing, what I always get excited about traveling solo, that even if I shop and I shop and I shop for 2 hours or 3 hours or 10 hours, I don't have to look at anybody because I don't have anybody to say, okay, now let's go, it's too late.
But no one is carrying your bag then.
That's true.
And no one is controlling you with your cards.
Exactly. So everything has a good and a bad side.
Yes, but we can shop how much ever we want.
Exactly. You can shop, you can stay you can stay at a place for a longer time if you want to. I mean, you're traveling for yourself.
Yeah, you're flexible.
One more thing, one last thing I'll tell you. So, my trip to Japan was in 2018, where I traveled solo. Again, I was invited by the tourism board. And I spent a lot of time with myself there. And Japan is a place which is a complete luxury, but luxury with minimalism is Japan. So that's where I got inspiration to become a travel blogger. Then I changed my Instagram name from Sapna Aidasani to Luxury Traveler Dubai. And apparently, I got that inspiration while I was traveling solo all by myself. So you get a lot of inspiration, you get a lot of insights. You are not the same when you travel all by yourself. Traveling solo is beautiful.
Okay, fantastic. Let's take that influencer part and ask you this question. Do you feel people should enjoy the moment while they are traveling, or should be focusing on taking pictures and during their travels?
I don't know about others, but I am better when somebody's shooting me. So I feel that when you are shooting, when you are taking photos, when you're taking videos, apparently you quench for more.
Yeah.
You want to show something different to your audience or to the people whom you love. Maybe you will just share it on a WhatsApp family group. You'll share to your friends, but you will look into something unusual. And that sight you get because you are excited to, show it to the world. So I think you should enjoy the moment, but don't forget to click photos and videos because that is something which is a memory which you'll see later after coming back from your trip, maybe on a long flight, maybe once before you sleep and you're not feeling sleepy. So those are memories. Don't miss any place when you are traveling. Don't miss to shoot any place, any moment. It's beautiful to shoot and to get that experience later and remembering and reminiscing the memories.
I agree with you, especially when you're feeling depressed. I don't know, I'm lost in life and things like that. Go back to those memories
Exactly.
and relive them.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Now you're a business owner, a blogger, traveler, a frequent traveler. How do you manage it all?
Yes. I think it took me a while to balance that out, but finally I have done it. And one thing which really helped me to manage it is that if I have allotted 7 to 8 for my, in the morning, 7 to 8 only for my, brainstorming to plan the content for next month, then I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to do that only. If I allotted my meeting times from 11:30 to 2:30 and then probably 3:30 to 5:30, then I will not do anything. I will only do meeting at that time. So what really helped me is to be present in the moment because we have 24 hours. Like I always say that one of the richest families in the world, the Ambanis, also have 24 hours and we also have 24 hours. It all depends on how we manage and how we probably organize it well. So it's not a big deal. And when I travel, I always dedicate morning hours for two things. One, to plan the content for the day, because of course it has to be done same time as, it based on the schedule. And second, I always do hurdle calls with my team in the morning, come what may, wherever I am. So this helps me to keep a follow up with my office and with my team, as well as it helps me to never lose on the right content.
Yeah. One thing I remember from your Instagram posts recently, okay, I think that was your Russia travel and the temperature over there dropped drastically and you were not keeping well. Does this happen to you more often?
No, it does not happen to me more often because I have a very strong immunity. I carry things. I carry turmeric with me to keep myself strong because turmeric is like, it is anti-immune. And then I carry some allergy tablets as well because one of the most important reason for getting that flu and cold is allergy. Those times, one thing is very important. While you're traveling, don't get stressed out. The stress was the main cause of me being sick that time. Yes, I had a variation of temperature from -22 to +22 to -6. Yes, I did had back to back. It was the stress. So ensure that you're sleeping properly because sleep induces immunity. So please, whenever you are traveling, sleep well. And even in the night, when you are traveling all the days, ensure that you, even if you party, either you wake up late in the next morning or you sleep early a night, because you really need that sleep to get immunity. People majorly fell sick for two reasons. They fall sick for two reasons when they're traveling. One is that probably they are not sleeping well. And second, if you are stressed about something, the stress also reduces your immunity. So take care of these two factors whenever you are traveling.
Fantastic. Let's do the rapid fire round now. Okay, quick one.
Okay.
Which country is a must visit?
Oh my God, there's so many of them, but I can think of Japan.
Okay.
Japan is a country which is very different and they have so much to do,
And the season is coming up, right?
Season is already started. So yeah, cherry blossom will start by March, and you don't have neither the flights available nor the hotels available. It's super busy right now.
Absolutely. Which country has the fastest and the easiest visa process?
There are many countries, but I'll say Dubai is one of the countries which is easiest and the fastest visa process, because you can get the tourist visa we do at Pluto Travels less than 1 hour's time.
Wow, fantastic. Which country should the next generation think of settling in?
That's a good question. I think one of the countries which probably has always been the best in the world is Singapore.
Okay.
That country I think is a good country to settle in. And yeah, of course, my own country, Dubai, UAE, one of the best countries to settle in for everybody.
Everybody.
Yes.
Last one. Which country has the best food and where should a food traveler travel?
It's my home country, which is India. India has
agree.
everything. You talk about sweets, savory, you talk about cultures from south to north. There are so many regional dishes to try that you cannot even, even if you travel for 1 month, you cannot even if you try one, dishes from breakfast to dinner, you try different dishes, you cannot still complete the dishes. There's so much to see, so much food to try in India. And every place has a different flavor and the taste. So India is the best to try for foodies. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Sapna, for coming in and giving us insights about your life and your business life. And we got to learn a little bit more about you, like they say, after the feature presentation, right?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. It has been a wonderful session with you. Hope to meet next Thursday now.
Yes. Looking forward to it.
Okay. If you have anyone that you think should be the next guest over here talking about luxury travel or supporting the Airbnb in her favor, so let us know. And until then, we'll see you next time. Thank you.